What's going on, everybody? Eric Bourassa here today, and I'm very excited because today is the release day of the Fender Limited Edition Tom DeLonge Strat. So this just got announced very recently. Rumors have been happening for a little while, but it was only about a week ago that Fender and Tom DeLonge officially said July 25th is the release date. And as of yesterday, you couldn't even find these for pre-order online. But today, this morning, when I went on Guitar Center's website, I was able to find you can actually order these, but they did not show them in stock at any of the stores. So what I did was I drove to the Guitar Center that would be the most likely to have one. This is what happened. What's up, everybody? We're here at Guitar Center in an undisclosed location somewhere in DFW, and we're gonna go in right at opening. We've got 3 minutes till they open, and we're gonna see if they've got one of these Tom DeLonge Strats. And here we are, about 10 minutes later. It's 11:07, 7 minutes after they opened. Got me a surf green Tom DeLonge, opened it up. Looks pretty good. Let's take it home and test it out. All right, so let's take a look. They didn't even have it on the shelf or out. So what we're going to find out today, the question I'm asking is this made in Mexico Strat worth the $1,300 price tag? Actually, mine was $1,200 plus tax. Though everyone had been saying $1,299, mine was $1,199 at Guitar Center. So is this guitar worth $1,200 US dollars compared to a normal made in Mexico Strat, which I think goes for about $870 or so? Is it worth the extra $350 or so to get this special limited edition Strat? And is it worth paying extra for this when you could do it to an older version of a Fender made in Mexico Strat like I have done with my 90 Strat? And we're going to see if this guitar is better than that, and whether it's worth it for you to buy this one or to maybe do the mods yourself. So let's check out the tones on this guitar with clean and distortion. I'm going to be running through my Friedman Runt 20 amp with most of the tone knobs sitting right about 12 o'clock. And then for distortion, I'm using my Carl Martin Greg House lick box. Okay, so here are my thoughts after playing this guitar for a little while and getting my hands on it and then comparing it to my original Strat that I Tom DeLongeized for years. Now, just for the record, I want to share that I am a total Blink-182 fanatic. There is no other band I've listened to in my life more than Blink-182. I kid you not, I listen to Blink-182 on almost a weekly basis, and when I'm really heavy into it, pretty much every day I'm listening to Blink-182 or Boxcar Racer or Plus 44 or Angels and Airwaves, one of those bands that the guys from Blink have done. So I also owned a Daphne Blue version of the Tom DeLonge Strat in the early 2000s, and I either paid just a few $100 for it or somebody gave it to me. I think my friend Kendall back in high school actually gave me that Strat, and I know brand new back then, I think they were $450 or $500, and I stupidly sold it in college so I could get something else. But you didn't know back then that it was going to be worth a couple $1,000s today to hold on to it. So having that history, having owned a Tom DeLonge guitar before, being intimately familiar with the sounds of Blink-182 and Tom DeLonge, I can say that this is a well-made guitar. And I find that Fender guitars made in Mexico or made in America are very consistent with build quality. So I'd like to say I got a good one. I got lucky and got a good one that they hadn't even taken out of the box yet today. But the reality is, pretty much anytime I've taken a Strat just off the rack, it's really well made. There's no fret edges. The edges of the frets are nice and smooth, which is something you find with import guitars. A lot of times the frets will like stick you and scrape you as you move up the fretboard. The fretboard is very smooth. It's a very light finish on the back. I mean, almost non-existent. If maybe there isn't a finish, but if there is, it's so light that it feels like it's not even there. The fretboard feels great. The only thing I had to do was there was a little too much relief in the neck, so I had to tighten the truss rod to straighten the neck and get the action kind of where I wanted it. But other than that, I mean, there's no scratches, there's no dings. I love this upgraded bridge. It's kind of like the American Strat style bridge that they began doing back in the early 2000s. That's my favorite version of the Fender Strat bridge. I also like that these tuning pegs, like my Clapton Strat, it has it where you clip the top, you stick it in, and then you tighten it, rather than sticking it through, bending it, and tightening it. I like this a lot better. And then, let's see, what else? I mean, this is a nice touch, the little Tom DeLonge symbol on the back. I haven't even taken the plastic off of it yet. So it's in great shape. It looks perfect. It feels great. But the question is it worth the $1,200 price tag? And as a Blink-182 fanatic, I want to say yes. But I got to tell you, I don't think so. It depends on what you're after, though. So what I would recommend is you could get a used Fender made in Mexico Strat for... last time I checked, they were in about $450. I'm gonna guess $500 now. You could get a $500 used made in Mexico Strat, and the wood, at least on my 90s Strat here, has aged really well over the last 20 to 30 years. And so if you can find an older one, they're usually even less expensive, and the way the wood ages is fantastic. So I'd rather have this neck that's on my Mexican Strat than on this Tom DeLonge Strat, because this one's not broken in yet. It still feels brand new, which you would think is a good thing, but I prefer a neck that is a little bit more broken in. And then the other thing is, an Invader pickup, I think is about $110 right now, US. And then you get one of these pick guards, custom pick guards with just... For the single, you can see I later added this neck pickup here because I just wanted that versatility. But you can get one of these kinds of pick guards for maybe about $30. We'll just round up and say $40 to be safe. So $150 for the pickup and the pick guard, and then you need a $500K tone pot. which those are cheap, maybe 20 bucks. So all in all, you're looking at 150, maybe $170 plus 500 for the Strat. So 675, so about 700 bucks. For about $700, you could make your own. If you're okay with doing the soldering yourself, I will tell you I'm not good with soldering, but I installed this pickup myself, and it's not very difficult to install a single humbucker pickup in a guitar. If you have more pickups, it becomes a little more complex, but a guitar like this, it's pretty easy to learn how to do it on your own. As long as you are flexible with the color that you get, right? Surf green in a Made in Mexico Strat, I don't think is super easy to find. So if you're wanting that, or Daphne blue, I'm pretty sure the only way you can get it is with the Tom DeLonge Strat. I don't know if I've seen it on any other Strat. But anyway, my point is just pick the color you want. Find a used Mexican Strat, and then you're probably not going to be able to get that 70s headstock. That's kind of one of the other distinctions about this guitar. Really, the only thing that makes this different than a regular Strat is you have the Invader pickup, the Perloid pickguard, and that 70s headstock. And then on this version, you get the Tom DeLonge nameplate on the back. You know, that's essentially the difference. So thinking about what new Made in Mexico Strats cost back in the early 2000s, you were looking at probably $350 to $400. So for the Tom DeLonge Strat to be $450 or $500, you're looking at a $50 to $100 difference. So now with new Made in Mexico Strats being like $870, close to $900, which blows my mind because they just shot up after the pandemic in price. You know, I think they were $600 pre-pandemic. And I mean, that was only, 3 or 4 years ago. And so now, coming out of that, the prices have just gone up so astronomically. I could see this guitar compared to a Made in Mexico Strat new today. Maybe it goes for $1,000, maybe $1,050, but $1,199, which is what I paid for this. I don't personally think it's worth it if you're just getting a guitar for you to play. Now, the one way I would say this guitar is worth purchasing is if you are going to hold on to it to resell later. If this is going to be anything like the original Tom DeLonge Strat, which sold for $450 to $500 20 years ago and is now worth close to $2,000, this $1,300 guitar, I could very easily see getting up in that $1,600, $1,800 range within the next couple of years, especially since it's a limited edition run. I have a feeling these are going to sell out. So if you want one, I would get one soon. Take good care of it so that in a few years, if you decide to resell it, you can more than likely enjoy the guitar for a few years and then make a little bit of money off of it. That's what I intend to do this with this guitar. I don't intend to keep it because as pretty as it is, I love my my homemade Tom DeLonge Strat that I've just made myself. All right. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the new Tom DeLonge reissued Strat from Fender for 2023. Have you played one yet? Have you tried it? Did you buy one? Did you have FOMO? Were you like, I think it's overpriced, but I got to get one because I have to. Or did you say, nah, I'm going to pass on this? Let me know your thoughts about this guitar. Oh, final thing. I think it's a little bit of a one-trick pony. If you're playing punk rock or you're playing metal, awesome. It's great for that. And it's great for riffage. I think a Fender Strat with a Seymour Duncan Invader is the best riff machine. There's no better tone than that to me in terms of distortion. However, if you're doing a lot of lead guitar and you want to get some really nice searing lead tones, or you want to get a good clean tone, this probably is not the guitar for you, especially when it comes to clean tones, because you'll notice, like, even when I recorded a clean sound, it was a little bit distorted. Now, I'm playing through a 20-watt amp, which breaks up very easily anyway. But I've noticed even with louder amps, the Invader pickup, it has a hard time staying clean because it's such a high output pickup. So you're not going to get these incredible shimmering Strat-like tones with this guitar. You're going to get good punk rock sounds and heavy metal sounds, and it's a great riff machine. That's what I can say about that. All right, you guys, I'm Eric Bourassa. Be sure and like and subscribe. We're going to probably break down new Blink-182 songs as they come out. Stay tuned for more of that. Be sure and check the link in the description below if you're interested in my 90-day guitar course to learn to finally understand everything you're playing on the guitar with scales, arpeggios, where the notes are on the fretboard. You're going to commit 10 minutes a day to the program, and by the end of 90 days, you're going to know basically everything you need to know about the guitar. So you're not just playing random notes and random chords and scales and hoping it sounds good, but instead you're going to actually understand how the guitar works. Okay, all right, you guys, I will see you in the next time.